Algernon's October with the check-in on Hip Hop United. When Andre 3 Stacks said the South had something to say some years back, our next guest made sure that they could back up those claims with music that would transcend generations. The man that took Outkast from the south side of Atlanta to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Dungeon Family royalty, Mr. DJ, is in the building. What's happening, bro?
Hey, man, how you, man? All is well, all is well. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Listen.
How are you?
Nothing. I am wonderful, man. I'm in the presence of royalty. I'm in the presence of legends. Well, let's start from the beginning, my brother.
Okay.
You started as a DJ, but tell me how you went from tearing up mom's turntables to producing some of the biggest names in hip-hop.
Well, you know, I started out as a DJ, like you said, tearing up mom's turntables, and then, you know, eventually I started to take DJing serious and started to DJ the sock hops, the parties, the little, you know, the garage party, the picnic, you name it. I was doing all of those things. And eventually that turned into a job as the DJ for Outkast via my cousin Rico Wade. He turned me on. He allowed me to be the DJ for Outkast once he worked out a deal for the group. And so that started my professional career as a DJ and in the music industry. And so that's how I got to being the DJ. And then, you know, from there I, you know, continued to make my way up.
I got you. Now, I was going to ask you how you met Big Boy and Andre, but obviously that's through Rico.
Yes,
but
sir.
Now, even back then, what made them kind of stand out in your mind?
Man, just individuality and being themselves and being true to what was immediately in our area. You know, everything that they talk about in those songs, man, most of that stuff is like real life stuff. And so I thought that was cool that they were able to really, you know, they weren't flexing.
Yeah. Now we saw kind of what they grew to and what they were. Tell me about that early Outkast energy in terms of what you saw.
Man, it was just raw energy. It was just raw energy. They were both really eager. You know, the Dungeon family as a whole was really, we had for sure, we all had the big picture in mind. And so all of us having that same big picture in mind, man, we moved that way. And so Big and Dre, they had that same hunger and that same big picture. And so they fit in just fine with the rest of the Dungeon family. And that was my early experience of them, just being eager and hungry and just really into what they were doing.
Now, what would you say the difference is between a DJ and a producer, especially in this era?
You know, a producer, a DJ, I'll say it this way, a DJ is a producer.
Okay.
Because you start to arrange vocals, you start to arrange music, you're lining up music with different vocals. Those are the things that an engineer does, and they're the same. They're one and the same. A producer, those are the same that a producer, you know, do also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you were around, of course, Outkast and just the whole Dungeon family, and that's just a big collection of creatives and people who are coming from all kinds of different perspectives and different aspects of life. Tell me about that pocket of time and being surrounded by that many talented artists. Like, how did you balance all of that out? Because that is a lot of innovation coming at you at one time.
Oh, man, you know, well, at that time, man, you know, I was not necessarily on the receiving end of all of the talent. I just happened to be one of the talent. Organized Noise was leading the charge at the time. They were the producers, and so my cousin Rico Wade, Sleepy Brown, and Ray, they had to deal with all of us, the creatives. At the time, I was, remind you, in the beginning of the Dungeon family, first of all, Rico Wade is my cousin, so we lived together, and I stayed in the house before any of the people came. Our extra Dungeon family members came into the house, so I was always around, but didn't receive any of I didn't have to deal with everybody.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Little different.
Yeah, I was in a little different position. Yes.
All right. Yes. Now, what kind of made the 90s and 2000s such a special pocket of time for music, and how does it kind of compare to the era we're in right now?
Man, you know, I think in those times there was less digital. There was less of a digital footprint, which meant that you had to communicate with people. You had hand-to-hand combat when it came to promotions. You were able to give people stuff. You were able to talk to people. So I think the times were different then, and I think music was a way to cope back then. Music is still a way to cope, but I think the times dictated, you know, how the music circulated back then.
Okay. Now, for any artist that's really trying to get a foothold into the game in this era, what's some of the things that they should do to try to stand out?
Man, you know, I always say my answer to that is always just be yourself. You can come up with way more content being yourself than trying to pretend to be something that you're not, because at some point you will probably run out of content whatever content that is. So just always be yourself, because that is the most original thing there is. There's no one like you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you feel like the South has the same impact on music as it did in the 2000s and 90s?
Oh, absolutely. 2090. Oh, yes. I think once we were noticed, I think that, I always look at it like a spotlight. That spotlight has come to Atlanta, and I'm not sure that it is all the way left from Atlanta. I think Atlanta at this point is continuing to influence hip hop and music. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You've been there since the beginning.
Yes, sir.
How was it watching Atlanta grow from where it was there to the global influence that it has become today?
Man, it's amazing. I can't say that I didn't think that could happen, but it's amazing to see what has happened, man. The influence is just amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's like a lot of people feel like, our influence, and I say Atlanta, has waned a bit, basically, some of the current conflicts and things that have happened with that. So I'm always interested in hearing what the OGs see and how you guys kind of view that as well. And if you think it's ever going to be a time period where other regions are going to kind of reach that same level of impact that we have.
Well, I'm going to show you how OG I am. I don't even keep up with any of the things that are happening. So I'm not even sure what's going on when it comes to conflict. So I may not be able to speak on that. I just know that music influences everything. And so if people are having, disagreements, I think they should squash it, talk about it, squash it, and not put it in the music, because that is what is causing our youth to go astray, because they follow what the music says. So yeah, I don't know what conflicts there were, but I hope I answered some of your questions.
No, you answered it right on there. Whatever.
Okay.
How would you define the Atlanta sound?
Man, Southern, soulful, bass heavy, low frequency. I wouldn't say low frequency, but there's a low frequency in Southern music that moves you, and so we are full of that. Yeah.
How would you like the Dungeon family to be remembered?
Man, probably never be another. I say in a song of mine, it'd probably never be another crew that real. So the realest crew they ever wrought, musical crew to walk the earth. Yeah.
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 Definitely a lot of members, a lot of influences, and not only people who could come together as a collective to be able to make great music, but also everybody is a legend in their own right.
Absolutely.
What they bring to the table.
So much talent in the Dungeon family, man. Everybody has their input, man. It's so much talent. That's all I can say.
Now, when I was at the event the other night, at One Music Fest event at Morehouse, kind of talking about the new doc and everything like that, there was a comment made, and I don't know if you know anything about it, but I'm going to ask you about it anyway. No, this is good stuff. This is good stuff. About a potential project between North and South that had something to do with the Dungeon family as well as Wu-Tang Clan.
Okay.
Maybe kind of different producers swapping out and working with each group and kind of bringing something to the forefront. Do you know anything about that? And any kind of insight you can give to that, because that sounded kind of exciting.
Well, what I can say is I know that was a plan from that was something that was a thing about 5-6 years ago, and it never matured, and we never followed through on it. So I don't know if someone is going to pick the ball up and make that happen, because I think it would be epic. I think it would be really dope to get to, produce. Yeah, I think it would be a dope project if it happens to come about.
Okay.
Yeah. It was an idea from a while back, but I think it may be refreshing.
Yeah, because that sounds exciting, my brother. We talking RZA, we talking you, we talking about everybody coming together and just putting a gumbo of music out there, mixing the two, in my opinion, greatest North and South artists to ever do it.
Yes.
Crazy. Crazy. All right. Now, what type of projects are you working on right now outside of course, all this legacy stuff that you always
Well, you know, I'm always making music and always being creative. So recently I decided that I wanted to be creative in a different way and that I wanted to be the artist this time. Because, you know, most of the time I'm telling the artist what to do and how to do it. And so I thought it'd be fun to go ahead and be creative and produce music, be the artist, be the creative director, all of those things in one, because then you could do whatever you'd like to do. And so I put this project together called Beats, Vibes, and Verses. It'll be coming out on the 7th of November. Features people like it's got Jazzy Faye on the album. Okay. I got Killer Mike on the album. Got CeeLo on the album. Got Mika Means on the album. Got Nick Hustle on the album. I'm sorry, I couldn't leave him out. And we got the first single is called Pop My Stuff. Pop My Shh, and that is out right now featuring Big Crit. We blowing up the waves right now with that one. Video coming out in the next day or two.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
now,
sir.
Now, what's some things you do outside of music? Some things that have nothing to do with music that you were just a part of and passionate about?
Oh man, I have a few businesses. I have a car lot. And I'm pretty passionate about the car lot. It's kind of where Pop My Shit came from. Pop My
No, say, go. Yeah, we
kind of where Pop My Shit came from. I deal with cars a lot, so I have a car lot, and so that is one thing that I do on the side. Outside that, I'm an avid boater as well. Like to boat a lot. So yeah, that's a few things that I do outside of music that have nothing to do with the other.
Now, obviously, Georgia, or I should say Atlanta, don't have any oceans or anything like that. So you're doing boating on the lakes and the rivers and stuff. You ever hit the ocean? Or?
Man, you know, I'm scared to go to the ocean and be the actual captain of the boat. Yeah. I'll stay in the lakes. I'll stay in the lakes. You know, I got a pretty nice sized boat, so I would be okay in the oceans.
Right.
It's ready for the ocean, but yeah, I don't trust myself enough to be the captain out in the ocean.
Okay,
yeah, I'm gonna stick to the lakes and the rivers I'm used to.
Hey, I like.
What's
up,
Quiz?
I love to see that reference right there. I like that.
Man, one of my Dungeon Family partners wrote that song. Marquez, man, shout out to him.
Shout out to Marquez. Yeah. That song is amazing.
Shout out to the whole Dungeon family, man. Shout out to everybody. Much love.
Definitely.
Yeah.
How do you keep your sound so fresh, especially when music is evolving so much?
Once again, it goes back to that being yourself and doing something that feels comfortable for you. When I started this album, man, I for a minute I couldn't decide how I wanted to do the album or how I wanted to approach it, and it ended up being just be yourself. My wife kind of coached me, and she's like, "Hey man, you just be yourself. Be the cool Dave you are around the house." And so, you know, that was the approach I took on the album, man, and I really appreciated that little advice because, yeah, it makes everything so easy.
I was gonna say, man, how does your family influence how you move?
My family is very influential in the way I move. Yeah, I've had some times when I was not so up, and it would be my family that would always pull me back to the middle of things. So my family means a lot to me.
Gotcha, man.
Yeah.
Gotcha. How does faith play a part in your life?
Faith is everything. Faith is mine. Man, that's how I live. I believe and I have faith in everything. Sometimes my people around me look at me like I'm crazy. Like, man, are you kidding me? We about to do that? I'm like, yes, man, we're about to do that. And I'm so faithful that I'm already making plans for what happens after we do that, because I know that that's going to happen. And so you might as well start making plans for the next thing. So that's kind of how I move. I move on faith.
So you're an optimist.
Oh, I'm an optimist at all times.
Yeah. I got that.
I'm a problem solver. So anytime there's a problem, part of being an optimist is to start to work on the how you fix it rather than dwell on the problem itself. So I'm a problem solver.
I like that. All right.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, there is different levels of I should say schools of consciousness around this topic, AI. You got some people who have used it as a tool, and some others who have completely let the tool use it on them.
Yes.
What is your standpoint, or I should say, what is your perspective on the use of AI?
I think that it is okay to use AI. I think that we can learn, or we can be. It allows you to dream just a little bit more vividly. So I think that it's okay as long as it's not overused. I think that it's okay. I have to say that there is a hook on my album that is AI. There is one hook. I have to say that And that has nothing to do with me not being able to be creative or anything. There was a certain sound that we wanted to create, and so the most efficient way to do that was to use AI for that particular vocal texture. And so it was used in that way, not the writing of the words, not any of those things, just the texture of the voice that we use for a hook on a song. So yeah, I'm into it. I just don't think you should overuse it.
Okay.
And I used it one time on one song, one hook. Let me just say that. Yeah, no shame.
Well, obviously we know that you're able to produce and do what you got to do. So it sounds like you're using the tool as opposed to using it as a crutch. With that. Now, what do you think of others who do decide to overuse it or to use it more than just in a minimalist way?
Well, what are they gonna do when it's when you can't get to it, when you can't use it, when it's unavailable to use? Because that's a whole another story. To each his own. I don't have a dog in that fight, so to each his own on that.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's understandable.
Yeah.
That's a point of.
It's a touchy. Yeah. It's a touchy. Debate.
Very much so. Very much so. Streaming. You were around, when we were doing cassettes and CDs, and myself as well. And now we're in the streaming era. A lot of artists are starting to kind of take their stuff off of streaming platforms and more so go independent and more so go direct to consumer. How do you feel about that?
I'm kind of in the middle on that one. Before I put this out, when I was putting this album together, I was deciding, man, do I want to not stream it at all and figure out a way to do it the other way, to get away from that. But I have not quite figured that out yet, so I decided that no, I'll continue to do it this way until I figure it out. But I understand going back to the streets. I understand the old way of doing things. I think we made a lot more. I'm not sure, but I feel like we made more money back then. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is a new time and a new age, so I have not had a chance to experience it in this time and age with the music. So we'll see.
Yeah. I was going to say, because from what I'm hearing, a lot of artists are definitely starting to shift away from it.
I think it's a good thing,
because they don't feel like they're seeing all the revenue. Like they'll say something like, "I did 1 billion streams and I made $4." I
think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing for the creatives. Absolutely.
Yeah. Put the power back into their hands and such like that. If there's a new artist that's kind of coming up in this particular era right now, in your opinion, what is the fastest way for them to be able to make some money?
Man, to not be in it to make money. That's going to be the fastest way to make some money, because if you take money out of the equation and you are your true authentic self and you do that creative stuff that you want to do, that is what will cut through and will get you to the money. The money is a byproduct of being yourself and is being the most authentic self you can be. Yeah.
Features.
Yes.
We still have artists today who get with bigger artists or pay bigger artists who have, bigger platforms to do a feature in hopes of kind of helping them, to kind of lift their brand up to where they want it to be or to get more noticed in terms of as an artist. What are your thoughts on it? Do you think that, that's a route that artists should go anymore, or do you think that philosophy is kind of dated based upon where we are in this era right now?
Well, you know what? As an artist, I kind of consider myself a new artist, and I enlisted some of my Highline partners to appear on my album. I think it's a combination of wanting to have that extra creative input. And whatever it is you like about that other artist, that whatever it is that they offer, you want a little spice of that in your music. Yeah. And so I think that is the intention of it. But there are some that get the big names just to boost the names on their album. I think it's okay if you're using it for the right reason.
Yeah, gotcha.
Hopefully you have good content yourself, and you can carry things on your own without anyone.
Right.
Yeah.
And while we've got somebody brilliant like yourself in the room, I've got to ask this question as well, sir.
Shoot.
Tell me about your creative process. Like you said, you kind of went back and you now are becoming the artist and being able to kind of direct yourself as opposed to kind of being on the other side of it or whatever. How do you create? What is your process? Like, take us in the studio with you in terms of how you work. Let's take me into the cockpit of your brilliance, sir.
First of all, it sometimes takes me 2 to 3 weeks to even sit down. I have a little thing called hovering. And so for a couple of weeks, I walk in and out of my studio straightening up things, sit down and listen to a little music, moving things around, shuffling, and eventually I'll sit down. And once I sit down, then I'll start to, listen to music, take in things, because over time I take in a lot of music, listening to life. You take in life, and then at some point you sit down and then you spit all that stuff out in the form of music. So that is kind of where I draw from all my life experiences. And then I start just listening to records, man, and sounds, and start sampling different things. And then I'll just start hitting my pads on my MPC, and just whichever one of those pads I hit and it makes me feel this little tingle, then I know that's probably the one I want to start working on first. So then I'll take that little sound, and then I'll start to enhance and build on that sound, and then that is how I come up with music. Usually the music comes before the words, because usually the music inspires you to feel some kind of way, and then you write according to how you feel. So, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. All right. Tell me kind of in the next couple of years or so, what you plan on doing and kind of where you want to be.
Man, I just plan to be happy. That is all. Happy and healthy is all that I wish for. Everything else I'm cool with. I'm cool with whatever. However everything else turns out, I'm cool. I'm good.
I tell you, I like you. I like you because I am a positive, glass half full kind of guy myself,
yes,
and I can absolutely relate to the philosophies that you bring to the table, my brother.
I appreciate it, my friend.
Well, listen,
thank you.
You have been an inspiration. We appreciate you being an architect of sound
Thank
and
you.
of culture.
Yes.
And obviously, I'm going to be at One Music Fest tomorrow.
Hey,
and I
let's
cannot
go.
wait to
Let's
see
go.
what y'all going to be bringing to the table. My brother, tell everybody where to find you and kind of some things that you might be having coming up outside of One Music Fest.
For sure. So you can find me at I Am Mr. DJ on all platforms, as well as IamMrDJ.com. New single out right now featuring Big Crit called Pop My Shit. Make sure you go download that. I'm going to make sure I have the video up for you tomorrow. Album November 7th. That's it.
There it is.
There
That's
it
what's
is.
up. That's what's up. Well,
Yeah.
listen, Mr. DJ, you have officially been checked in with Hip Hop United.
Yes,
Let's go.
sir. Let's go. Hey.
Brother, we got to get